Hi there, this is John from WebDev for you, and welcome to the Lella Lifestyle blog template for Webflow. This is the perfect template for content creators who want to create blog posts for their audience. In this video tutorial, I'm going to cover everything about this template, from the different pages in the template, how to create blog posts, as well as how to design and customize the template to fit your style. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first part of this tutorial is just a quick overview of the template and the different pages within the template. So the first thing we notice here within the template is the hero slider. And when we hover over these images, we can see we have this nice hover effect. If I click into the read more or I click the card, we go into the blog post for that specific slide. You can add as many slides as you'd like, and each slide can point to a different blog post. Up here we have the nav bar, we have the pages, and one thing you'll note here is a newsletter pops up after about 10 seconds, and this is a customizable option. You can link this newsletter to, let's say, a MailChimp form, and I'll leave a link in the description area below to how to link MailChimp to a Webflow form. It is a Webflow University video. So for now, I'll just close it and we'll come back to that later in the tutorial. But as I was mentioning, we have the pages here. We have the home page, contact 404 page, password, and I'll showcase all of those pages. Then we have about, beauty, style, food and home, and travel. So these four nav items, these are blog categories, and each category links to specific blog posts. For now, let's continue on the home page and we'll visit every page in this quick overview. As we scroll down, we have some more blog cards that do take us to blog posts. Here we have a sticky positioned author section where you can add an image and you can talk more about the author or write a nice blurb about the author. And we have the social media links right down here. If I click read more, it takes us to the about page, which I'll cover in more detail. And yeah, these are all nice cards that the user can click into to go to different blog posts. Right down here, we have the four different categories: beauty, style, food and home, and travel. And right down here, we have the contact form that the user can use to contact you directly. And down here we have the footer. Here we have the different category pages, and we have different pages within the template here, the social media icons, as well as another newsletter form that the user can use to subscribe to your newsletter. Okay, so that is the home page. Now let's click into the about page. So the about page has a nice image here where you can add your own image for the author section. We have the social media links that can link out to your social media, a nice blurb about the author, and some points of interest. We also have a nice quote here with the block quote and some description text of the author here. This is lorem ipsum, but you can replace this with your own text. Now we move on to the different categories. So the first category is beauty, and all these categories can be changed, but here we have the beauty page. And each category has a specific layout, so you can use all four layouts that I'll be showing in a second, or you can pick and choose which layout you want to use for your blog articles. So here we have the beauty category, and we have these nice cards. So when you hover, it has a zoom in effect and the background changes color. And again, if I click into any of these cards, it takes me to the post. So this is the style of the beauty blog post. So there's four different blog post styles as well, and you can choose which one you'd like to use. You can use multiple or select a specific one for your site. So this is the beauty category, and we have the categories down here: style, food and home, and travel, and we have the footer at the bottom as well. So let's move on to the style category, the style page. So this is a bit of a different style. We have these cards here that move up when we hover. And again, if we click into any of the cards, it takes us to the blog post page for this category. So this blog post has a different style. We can see that the heading is here on the left, and we have this nice color, and then we have the blog post on the right. Again, every page has the nav bar and footer, and the nav bar and footer is a symbol, so it's easy to add to any page. Okay, so that is the style. We have other posts here as well. So this is another kind of design element that you can use for your blog cards. And then we have this style for the categories, and they're more like buttons. Let's move on to food and home. So this is more of a vertical layout where when we hover, we have this nice read more overlay. And again, if I click into the card, it takes us to this style for the blog post. So this is the food and home style. We have this nice category tag here, the heading and the date, and then the blog article. And then we have the last one here, which is travel. So travel has a bit of a different layout. It has cards. We have two cards here, one card, and then we alternate the title. Here we can see the title is on the left, and here the title is on the right, and the date is on the card here within the upper left. So you can, these are more so like components that you can pick and choose and decide how you want to style your specific site. Again, we have the footer and the nav bar. So if I click into any travel card, this is the style for the travel category. Okay, so as you can see, we have 4 different categories and 4 unique blog post layouts for each category. Again, you can pick and choose whichever one fits your style the most, or you can use all of them for the different categories. So let's go to pages. So we looked at the home page. We also have the contact page. This is just a simple contact form with social media buttons here on the left, and the user can click here directly to go to the to use their email client to send a message directly, or they can fill out this form and click submit. And all the success messages and error states have been styled as well, so it matches the style of the template. Okay, so now let's go to the 404 page. So this is the page the user will land on if the page is not included within the site. So here I can go home, back to the home page, and then we have the password page where the user can enter a password. Yeah, they can enter a password to access restricted content, and it all matches the style of the site. And again, every page has the nav bar and the footer. Okay, so those are the pages. Let's take a quick look at the style guide, and I'll cover the style guide in more detail in a later part in this tutorial. But these are the colors used in the template. You can replace these colors here in the style guide, and it will replace all the colors in the template that are using these colors. Here we have the headings, the typography styles for the template. The paragraphs and the different headings here, you can customize them here and it will change throughout the entire template. We have the buttons, the primary and the secondary, and this is what the rich text looks like with the different global styles applied to the headings and the paragraph and the images as well. And here we have the blog quote, and it looks good. So this is what the style of the blog post will look like. Again, you can customize this by styling the global tags, and I'll showcase that in this tutorial. So that is a quick overview of the Lella template. I'm very happy with this template, and I think it can make a great site for content creators who want to showcase any blog post or share blog posts with their audience. So the next section of this tutorial is the responsive design of the template. So let's take a look at the responsiveness of the template. You can go from the left here and just drag in to see how the template responds to different widths. And if I scroll down, we can see how it looks here. We can take a look at the mobile menu. So it's just a drop down, and let me close this here. We have this drop down, and we can access different parts of the site and take a look at the responsiveness of the site. We can see the cards are stacked more vertically and looks great. So we can take a look at the responsiveness this way, or we can use a program that I like to use. It's called Sizzy, and it allows me to view the site on multiple devices. So we have the iMac 27-inch, laptop medium, laptop small, MacBook Pro 15-inch, iPad Pro, iPhone 12, and Pixel 5. So let's take a quick look at the site on these different devices. So on an iMac 27-inch, we see the slider is a bit wider to accommodate this screen size. And the content here is nicely centered in the middle. I am using a 1440 pixel max width for the container, so any elements or any sections that have a container have a max width of 1440 pixels, so the content doesn't span the full width of the screen for larger screens. The blog posts are nice and aligned here. They do have a max width of 700 pixels so that the user can easily read the content without the content spanning the width of the screen. So we can go to the beauty page. This looks good. And I'll check out the style page. Nice. So let's check out the responsiveness on a laptop medium. Looks good. Very nice. Great. And laptop small. Very nice. We can see here the slides are a bit smaller. Everything's a little bit more condensed. Looks great. And I encourage you to take a look at the template yourself and just look at the responsiveness on your specific device. We have the MacBook Pro 15-inch. Very nice. Looks good. And the iPad Pro 12.9-inch. So everything's just a bit more condensed. We're still able to have the author sticky here, which is very nice. We have the beauty page. Everything's just a bit more condensed. And the style page. But everything is nicely aligned for the different sections here. And the blog post looks really nice on an iPad 12.9-inch. Let's take a look at the iPad Pro 11-inch. We have the nice article there, the footer, the home page. We can see once we get to an 11-inch, we only have one slide per the slider. We have the nice cards down the center. The About section is at the bottom. And we have the categories in a quadrant here, or in a 2x2 square, or 2x2 grid, and the contact section. Very nice. We have the mobile menu, and looks good, and the cards are stacked vertically here. Very nice. Let's check out an iPhone 12, and we can see the cards are stacked vertically. Looks great. We have the slider. Very nice. And the categories are aligned vertically and looks good. Let's check out an iPhone 12 Pro Max. And let's check out style. Looks good. And travel. Great. Very nice. And the last one, Pixel 5. Looks good. All right, so I won't go through too many more pages because I think we get the idea here. But the site is fully responsive to work on every device or multiple devices, and at any width, I should say. Okay, we can even check the responsiveness at the same time across multiple devices just to take a look. Very nice. Looks good. Nice. All right, so I just wanted to showcase this template across different devices because that is very important when working with any site. You do want it to be responsive and you want it to look good across multiple devices. So that is it for the responsiveness of the site. The next section I will cover is the site in Webflow and the Pages panel in Webflow. So here we have the website in Webflow, and to access the Pages panel, we'll just go to the Pages icon here on the left, and here we can see the different pages for the template. So we have Home, Beauty, Style, Food and Home, Travel, About, Contact, and then here if I open this folder, we have the template information. So we have instructions, and the instructions will have all these video tutorials section by section. So you can, if you need a refresher, or you need to reference a specific part of the template, you can go into instructions and play that specific video to quickly get up and running. Then we have the style guide, which I covered. Licensing just covers all the licensing for the images used in the template, and the changelog, which tells you which version of the template you are currently using, or what's the latest version of the template. All right, as of now, it's only 1.0 as of its release. Then we have the CMS collection pages. We have the beauty post template. We have the style post template. So as you can see, they're different designs. We have food and home post template, and we have the travel posts template. Okay, and we have the authors template and the categories template. Those haven't been styled because they're more of a reference, so that you can assign specific authors to the blog post and specific categories. Then we have the utility pages. We have password, and we have categories. Or excuse me, we have 404. There we go. So those are the pages for the template. I've showcased all of these pages, but they can be accessed here from the pages panel. These CMS collection pages are associated with the CMS collections here. So this icon here, the CMS, is in reference to the Webflow CMS. And if I click into each collection, here are the different blog posts for the collection. And here we can go in and review the different parts of each blog post. I'll be covering this in greater detail in a later section, but I did want to reference this quickly here because it is part of the pages panel, or the CMS pages are shown here, which are in reference to the Webflow CMS. Okay, so the next thing I'll cover is the Navigator panel and how the site is structured within the Navigator. All right, so to open the Navigator panel, we click here or hit Z on the keyboard. And this is how the pages and site, or I should say the pages, are structured across all the pages. So we have the page wrapper, and all the content is always going to be in the page wrapper. And the reason for this is because it makes it really easy to copy and paste elements onto another page. So for example, if I created a new page, I could simply go into the Navigator or go into the home page, go into the Navigator, select the page wrapper, hit Command C, go into the new page, go into the body and hit Command V to paste. And just like that, I've pasted the entire page into a new page. So that's just kind of an easy way to be able to copy and paste pages to other pages, I should say. But you can copy and paste any elements from one page to another as well. But that's just the reason why all elements are in a page wrapper. After that, we have the navbar. The navbar is a symbol. So if I change anything here, it will change on all instances of this symbol on different pages. And I have an entire section that I'll be devoting to these symbols, but just wanted to mention that there. And then for each page, we have the different sections. So we have the hero section on the home page, the blog section, the category section, and the contact page section. Then we have the footer here, which is also a symbol. You can double click, and any changes made on one symbol will be changed on all instances of the symbol on the different pages. Okay, so in each section we have the elements. So in this case we have the slider, and I'll showcase how to work with the slider as well in another section. Then we have the blog section, and in most instances we have the section, and then we have a container, and the container has a max width of 1440. And then we have the different wrappers inside of the container and the different elements for the specific page. Okay, so same for categories, it's in a container, and we have the categories wrapper and the elements inside of each wrapper. So you can go in and kind of see the hierarchy of the elements. You can click this expand all or collapse all button to expand the navigator or the elements inside of the navigator to get an idea of how the site is structured or how each page is structured. Every element on this site has a class name, and I tried to be as descriptive as possible to make it easy for you to know what element pertains to what, or what class name pertains to what element on the page. So here we can see we have slide overlay, we have slide top, category tag, slide heading, secondary button, and so on and so forth, which should help with accessing the different elements on the page. You can also click on each element and it'll show here in the navigator. You can pin the navigator by clicking this button here. And then as you click through the site, you can see which element is selected in the navigator, which will make it easy to kind of find different elements on different pages. So same thing with beauty page. If I open the page wrapper, we have the nav bar, the footer, the hero section, beauty post section, category section, and so on. If we go to style, page wrapper, nav bar, footer, hero section, style post section, and other post section, and the style post section has the container, and so on. Okay, so just wanted to quickly showcase the navigator. This is where you can access different elements of the page, or you can click on the page directly and see the element in the navigator. You can click into elements that are not binded to the CMS. So for example, the about page, let's see, I'll go to the about page. I can double click into this text and change this text here. This block quote I can change. Any text that's not binded to the CMS can be changed by double clicking and simply typing. If an element is binded to the CMS, so what do I mean by that? If I click on any element that's purple, and we can see here that it's in a collection list, these elements, if I click on this gear icon, it's getting the text from the collection list. So it's binded to the collection list, so I couldn't just double click and change the text. And I'll be covering that in more detail in the CMS section of this tutorial, but just wanted to give a quick overview there. I will leave video tutorials as well on how to use collection lists in Webflow, so you can have a better idea if you're new to Webflow, how to use collection lists and how to bind elements within collection lists. So that's a quick overview of the navigator. Yeah, just all the elements are here, and the navigator is this this icon here. So next, I'm going to move on to symbols. It'll be a quick section, and I'll showcase how to use the symbols. All right, so let me go to the home page, and for the symbols, we have the nav bar, which we can see here, it's green, and we have the footer. Okay, so for a symbol, if I change anything, so let's say I wanted to change the category. So my category wasn't beauty, it was fitness. If I change that here in the symbol and I go to any other page, we can see that fitness has been changed for every single page because this symbol is on every single page. Same with the footer. If I double click and I change anything in the footer, categories, new name or something like this, and I go to any other page, even on the CMS collection pages, we can see that that change has been made. I can go into here. If I delete one of these links, let's say I don't have a Pinterest, for example, if I delete it and I go to any other page, we can see that it's been deleted here, and I can click again, I can paste, and I can re-add the Pinterest link if I'd like. And again, it's changed for all pages. So any changes made to one symbol in the nav bar or in the footer will be applied to all pages. So that is it for the symbols. And actually, one more thing, the symbol can be found here in the symbol section. So if you did want to add the symbol to a new page, so I can delete, for example, or I can maybe just delete all of this here. And if I wanted to add the symbol, I could go to the symbols here and just add the symbol, click and drag, and the footer. And there I have the header and the footer on the page. and I could add a section here, place the section in between, and add more content in here for a unique page. I'll be using this new page to kind of showcase how to copy and paste elements as well. But that is it for the header or the symbols within the site. The next thing I'll be covering is the CMS, the collection list, and the collection pages. Okay, so let's go into the pages panel. And as I mentioned before, we have the CMS collection pages, and those are binded to the CMS here. So if I click on the CMS, we have the beauty post collection, style post, food and home post, and travel post. We also have authors and categories that we use as references within each post. So if I go into a blog article, if I click in here into a collection item, we see here we have the name of the blog post, we have the URL for the blog post, here we have the main image, and we have the alt text for the blog post image. So this is for accessibility for devices that don't show images. Text will show instead so that the user knows what the image is about. Then we have the category. So this is a reference to these categories here. So you can add a new category here and it will show up in here. So just as a reference, if I click on categories, we have travel, food and home, style, and beauty. You can add a new category, and I won't do that now, but you can add a new category and then select it from this drop down. Then we have written by, so this is referencing the author's collection, so you can add a new author and then reference it here. Then we have the blog post summary, so this is a short snippet of the blog post, and we have the blog post text here. So this is the main body of the blog post, and this is like the main content for the blog post. Okay, so anytime you create a new blog post, you don't have to create a new page because that is what the CMS collection pages are for. So if I click on beauty post template and I click on the item right here, we can see these are all the items within the collection list. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create a new blog post. So here I'll just create a new beauty post and I'll call this new beauty post. I'll select a main image and I just have an image here. It's a bit large. You usually don't want images this large, so I might replace this. Let's try this one. That's a bit better. It's still a bit large. I usually like to keep my images under 300 kilobytes. And then here I can write some alt text, image of an abstract painting. Okay, and then for the category, I'll say beauty. And for the author, I'll say Alice Cora. And then here is some text for the summary. And here for the blog post text, we can add images, videos, custom code, lists, as well as headings. So, you know, I can add a heading. So if I write heading, I can highlight it and change it to any of these. I can make it a link, bold text, or italic. And I can make it a block quote as well if I'd like. So this is a block quote. Then I hit enter. This is some text, and so on and so forth. Okay, so those are the different fields within the blog post, and after you're done creating it, you can click create. And now if I go into the collection page, the beauty post collection page, and I go to the new template, which is new beauty post, we can see the post here. All right, looks good. So yeah, that's it for, or actually there's a few other things. So we have the collection list, the collection pages, and the CMS. Yeah, I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to here. You can change the name of the collection list by, you know, selecting the collection list and going to settings. And if I wanted to change this, I could say, you know, fitness posts, and it would change that here. I would want to change the URL here to say fitness, and then save collection, and done. That looks good. And then if we go to the pages, we can now see it's the fitness posts template. All right, so the next thing I'm going to cover is how to add a YouTube video to your blog posts. So in case you have like a YouTube channel and you want to add a video to each blog post. Okay, so to add a video, it's pretty straightforward. I'll go ahead and use this new beauty post we created. I'll go into the CMS, go into the new beauty post, and here I'll go ahead and delete this. I'll click the plus, and right here we have the video icon. We can also add an image if we'd like, but I'll go ahead and click the video icon, and I'll paste this YouTube link that I've gotten from my YouTube channel. Click the check mark. I'll make it full screen, and I can even add some text afterward. So this video is about using anime.js in Webflow. Then I'll click save, and let's go to that blog post, and we can see it here. So we do want to make this rich text 100%, and this will be updated by the time this video is out. But the rich text now spans the entire container or max width. So the post wrapper is 700 pixels, and the rich text fills the entire post wrapper. I can go ahead and preview and play, and we can see the video here. So if you have a YouTube channel, this could be a great way to showcase your video in each blog post. You can also add images, so I'll quickly showcase that. Hit enter and click the plus, add an image, and we'll add this image here. I can make it full width, click save, and just like that we have an image. So the rich text is very powerful. It allows you to add headings, videos, images, block quotes, and really create a full article for your blog post. So yeah, that's how you add video in the CMS. The next thing I'll cover is copying and pasting elements to a new page. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the blank page I created here called Untitled. And let's say I wanted to create a new category, and we'll call it fitness. If I like specific elements from other pages, let's say I like the beauty page, and I want to copy this hero section, so I just can hit Command C to copy, go to Untitled, and I'll just go into the body, paste that in there, and just move it below the nav bar, and I'll call this fitness. Now in the fitness, I want to go to the, let's say the beauty page, and I like how these cards are created here for the beauty page. So I'm gonna hit Command C. I'm gonna copy this beauty collection list wrapper, or let's copy the entire beauty post section. So I'll just select it, hit Command C, and then go to the blank page. I'll paste that in the body and just put it under the hero section. Now this is the interesting part. So if I had a new collection list, and I'm not going to go ahead and do that now. Actually, this might be a good thing to practice. So let's go to the settings. I'm going to go ahead and change this back to beauty posts and beauty. And then we're going to create a new collection list. So I click the plus here to create a new collection, and I'm going to call this fitness posts. And I'll create the collection. I'm going to add 5 items here just as examples, and we can go into the settings and kind of add the different fields here as well. But now we have that fitness collection list, and yeah, and we're going to reference it. So if I want to create a new page or a new category page that pertains to a different collection, I first want to unbind all of the elements that are binded to the beauty collection list. So what do I mean by that? So we can see this beauty card image. If I go to the element settings, the image is being retrieved from the beauty collection list. So I want to uncheck that, and I want to uncheck the alt text as well. We have the heading, so anything that's purple is binded, or bound. So we have the H3, I want to uncheck this here, and now we can see it just says heading. And we have the date here, I want to unbind it. And the link is also bound to the beauty post. So now we have a fresh collection list. I can go in and bind it now to the fitness post. And we can see we have 5 here. And now I can go in and rebind everything. So I can select this image, and I can say get image from the there should be an image here. So let's see. There isn't. So let's try that again. I'm going to create a new collection. I'm going to say blog posts, and I'm going to say, so let me cancel this for a second. So beauty fitness posts, let me just change the name here. So I'm going to change this to, what's another, I'm just going to say swimming posts, or art posts. How about that? Art posts, and change this here. Okay, cool. And then create a new collection, and then I'm going to call this fitness, or actually click blog posts, and I'll change the name here. So blog posts, yeah, it adds these different collection fields, which is what I want. So I'm going to say fitness posts, and just change the URL to fitness, create collection, and I'll add 5 items here. So now these items will have an image. So again, I'm going to go into the collection list and select fitness posts. Then I'll click on the image, and I'll get the image from the main image. Perfect. And then the heading, I'll get the text from the name. You can click in here and do the same thing from here, but right now I'm in the element settings. For the published date, I can say get the text from the published on date, which I haven't published the site, so there won't be any date here. As soon as I publish, the date will show up. Okay, it's just taking a moment here, and as we can see, the date showed up. I can change the format of the date to something else, something like this, and just like that, we have the blog or this category with these cards. Okay, and if I didn't want these, I could go ahead and delete them. So now we only have these cards here. If I only wanted to show 3 in a row here, I could select the collection list, and I could say limit items to only show 3. Okay, and it'll be fully responsive on all devices. Even if I showed all items, it's fully responsive on tablet, mobile landscape, and mobile portrait. Okay, so that is how we copy and paste elements onto different pages. If it is bound to a collection list, you first have to unlink everything. So just select it. Anything that's purple is bound, or if it has the symbol here, it's connected to the CMS. So you just want to uncheck, go through, uncheck it, and afterward, you can change the collection list to anything else, and then rebind everything back. Okay, and the heading, get the text from the name. All right, so that's basically it. That's how you bind and unbind elements. Any element that's not bound is just a simple copy and paste. So for example, if I go to the About page and I grab this interest wrapper, I can go to the new page and just paste that in here, and we can see that it's been pasted right here. Or if I wanted to add the categories section, on the home page, I like this categories section. I can just copy it, go to the new page, and just paste that in there and put it below here. I can delete this section here. And just like that, I have the categories section. So if we open this, we can see there's no elements that are bound to any collection list. So it's just a simple copy and paste. Afterward, I can go ahead and change the name of the page to fitness. I can change the URL slug, and done. Okay, so that is how we create new pages and copy and paste elements to other pages. We used symbols, we copy and pasted elements that weren't bound, and we copied and pasted elements that were bound. And if you wanted to change the class name, you could duplicate this class and call it fitness collection list wrapper, just to keep things organized and to understand that you're using a fitness collection list here, or you could leave it as is and just know that you're using the design of the beauty category page. All right, so yeah, that's it for copying and pasting elements. The next thing I'll go over is working with the homepage slider. All right, so let me go to the homepage, and let's say you wanted to add more cards to the slider. I'll go ahead and open up the slider here. So it's in the hero section, and if I open the slider, we have the mask, we have the different slides here. And if I wanted to add a new slide, let me go to the element settings here so it changes the slide. I can copy and paste a slide, and we have a slide here. So you do want an even number of slides because on desktop it shows 2 slides per page. So here we can see we have an odd number of slides, and then we have this blank space here on the right. So I'll go ahead and copy and have 2 slides, and then I can change the blog post here. So to change it, like I mentioned before, we want to unbind anything that's bound to the specific collection list. Okay, and I think it's just the background and the link block. So now I can go in here and I can choose a collection. So I can say, actually I want to select the collection list, and it's still bound, so something is still linked, the category tag. So I want to unlink this, and the slide heading, I want to unlink that. So now I'll select the collection list, and let's use that new fitness collection list. And then I'll select the background and say get background from the main image. Then I'll select the heading, get text from the name, and the link block, I'll say link it to the current fitness post. And I think that is it. And the category tag will say get text from the name, or the oh, it doesn't have a category for this post. So we would I'll say fitness for now, but we would want to add a category field to that fitness collection list so we could reference the category here. So we'll do the same for this slide. So each slide is one collection list. So here, slide link block, and we will unbind everything, slide background, and the heading, the tag here, and the heading. Okay, so now I can change the collection list to, let's say, travel, and then I can get the background from the post image, and the text from the category name, the category tag, slide heading from the blog post name, and the link, we'll link it to the current travel post. So by selecting this purple page here for the link settings, we can link it to the current travel post. If we wanted to show a specific post, we could say limit items, and we could say set it to 1 and start at a different number, so 3, 5, and it would change the post. Okay, and that's it. So that's how we add more slides to the slider. And now if I click on each slide, it'll take me to the specific post. We haven't styled the fitness post, so I'll showcase how to do that real quick in this section. So this could have been in the CMS or the copying and pasting section. Or actually, I'll create an entire new section for this. So the next section will be creating or styling a new blog post page. But that is it for the slider. That's how we add new slides. It is in the hero section, and you can open up the mask, copy and paste slides, and then change the collection list for each slide. All right, so next we'll be creating a new blog post template page. Okay, so we created the fitness collection list in here. So let's go to the fitness post template. So right now it's a blank page, and I like to, for any new page, we'll just add a div block and a page wrapper just to keep it consistent with the style of the site. And in the page wrapper, we'll add a symbol. I'm using Command K for quick find. We'll add the nav bar, and then I'll hit Command K and we'll add the footer symbol. So we have the header and the footer. And now it can be really easy to use any of the other blog post template styles. So let's say I like the style post template. I like this, how this looks. I can just grab this post section. Now, if I hit Command C to copy and I go to the fitness template and I paste, we see here dynamic elements can only be moved within the same collection list or collection page. So what we have to do first is go to the styles post, and we need to unbind everything just like I did before. So we unbind the category tag, unbind the date, and unbind the rich text. So now I can copy the post section, go into the fitness post template, and I can paste that post section in here, and I can rebind everything. So for this, I'll say get text from the post body. For the heading, I'll say get the text from the name. For this, I'll say get the text from, we don't have a category for this, so I would say fitness here. And for the publish date, I would say get text from published on. And I would change the styling here to look like this one. And that's it. So if I go to every other page, we can see it has that styling, or any other post here. And now I can go back to the style post and rebind everything. So I can say get text from, oh, that's already bound. So I would say get text here from the category name, the heading from the blog post name, and the date from the published on date. And I would change this here. And that's it. So just like that, we've rebound, or we've binded everything back in the styles page, and we've used this style for the fitness post template. And we can go in and everything's responsive and fits the style that we set for the style post template. So you can do that with any of the other templates. So the beauty post, if you like this style, you can use that. The food and home template, if you like this style, you can use that. Or the travel post template, if you like this style, you can use that as well. Okay, so that's it for copy or using a specific blog post template style on a new collection. The next thing I'm going to cover is accessibility and alt text. Okay, so accessibility in alt text, it just lets screen readers know what the image is about if for some reason the device doesn't show the image. And the way to do this is if we go to the assets panel, every image that you add in the assets panel, you want to go into the settings for the image. So by clicking that gear icon in the upper right, and then giving the alt text a descriptive text here. So here I have the text image of a hand holding a frame, and so on and so forth for each image. Okay, and if the image is not part of a CMS, if it's just been added to the page, we can see that here it's going to say use alt text from asset. So this image of the author, if I go into it, it's going to say image of the main author. Okay, and you can read more about alt text online and how to get more descriptive with alt text. I believe Webflow has a great article on alt text that I'll leave in the description area below. But yeah, it is a great practice to add alt text to images. For any image that's part of the CMS, if we go into the collection list, we can see we have this alt text for blog post image collection field. So this is where you would add that alt text. So you would describe the image here, click save, and then within the blog post template, if I go to the categories page and I select the beauty card image, we can see that it's getting the alt text from the alt text for the blog post image. And for images within the CMS, so if we have this image, you can go to the settings. Yeah, you can click on the image, go to settings, and then add your alt text here. Yeah, you can add a custom alt text right here. And I'll leave an article again. I mentioned this before, but to a Webflow article that talks more about alt text. You do want to add alt text to all images on your site. It's just a good practice for accessibility and for devices that don't show images. Some devices will read out what the image is about, and some devices will have the text, will show the text as well, or both, regarding what the image is about. All right, so that is it for accessibility and alt text. The next thing I will cover is SEO, or search engine optimization. Okay, so within the site, if I go to any of these pages here and I click on this gear icon, we see we can add a title tag and a meta description for the pages. So here, if I type in anything, right up here is where it'll show me what the page will look like in a Google search engine or any search engine. We can also add an open graph title and an open graph description for things like Facebook, right? To show the article or the page in the proper way. And we can add an open graph image URL. So we could upload an image here, and then we could, each image has a URL. So if I go to the URL, I can copy this URL here. And then for the open graph, I can paste that image in here, and we can see it appears here. For the open graph, you do want it to be a specific size. I'm not sure of the size. Oh, here it is, 1200 by 630. So you do want it to have a 1.91 to 1 aspect ratio. That's just something to note. So it will show up correctly on Facebook and other social media. Okay, so that's the open graph, and you can add your custom title and description, or you can click here to get it from the title tag and description here. I'll leave an article to working with SEO and Webflow. It's a Webflow article that covers this in more detail, or covers how to add title and meta description. And for the CMS pages, if we go into any of the template pages, so let's go to the beauty post, the title is being retrieved from the name of the blog article, and the description is being retrieved from the blog post summary. Same for the open graph title and the open graph description. If you did want that to be different, I would recommend going into the collection list and going to settings and adding a new field for the title and description. It can be just a simple text field, and then you can reference in the CMS. You can reference here, instead of the name, you could add a field and reference that specific SEO field for the name, and the same for the meta description. So again, you would want to add these fields in here by going to settings, adding a new field, plain text, and calling it, like SEO title and SEO description. And anytime you write a new blog post, you just write that information. And then in the search engines, you could retrieve it from here, and the search engines will show that specific name and that specific description. Same for open graph title and description. Okay, just wanted to kind of repeat that twice, because that's kind of an important piece to dynamic content. It's getting the information from the collection list. Okay, so that is search engine optimization. Also in Webflow, if you go into the project settings, there's an SEO tab, and there's a few other features here as well, like sitemap that you can submit to Google, the Google Search Console so that Google will index your site a bit quicker. Okay, so I recommend kind of going through all these SEO settings. Again, Webflow has great articles on all of this information, and it covers SEO in great detail. All right, so that is it for search engine optimization. The next thing I'll cover is interactions. Okay, so let me close this tab here. So throughout the template, we can see we have nice interactions, the hover effect here on the slider, we have this nice little movement to these cards. We have this movement to the social media. We have some hover effects here. We have this nice hover effect to these categories, and so on and so forth. The beauty page has this nice hover effect. Style page moves up. Other post moves up as well. Food and home, we have this nice pink overlay. And travel, the image kind of moves in like this. And probably one of the main interactions is the newsletter on the home page, and I'll cover that in another section on how to remove the newsletter, but I'll showcase all the interactions now and how to access them. So this is an interaction as well. Okay, so let's go to the home page and let's take a look. So to see what elements has an interaction, you can expand the navigator, click this button here, and any element that has a lightning bolt symbol has an interaction applied. So we can see here for the slider collection item, we have this lightning bolt symbol. And now if I go into interactions, we can see it has this mouse hover interaction. And we can quickly see all the elements, all the interactions within the site or the template. So we have the food and home card hover in, food and home card hover out, beauty card interaction, style card interaction, travel interaction, other card, blog card, social icon hover, category button hover, and slider card hover in, and the newsletter pop-up. So right now we're focused on the slider card hover in. So if I click it, I can go in and see what has been applied. We applied a scale and a rotation to the card. And here is the duration and the easing here as well, and the different properties for this interaction. And on hover out, we have the slide card hover out, and it just reverses that animation. So I'm not going to go too in depth on how interactions work. Again, I'll leave an article to the Webflow University that covers interactions in greater detail. Okay, so we can just go through, see what else has interactions. All the sliders have the same interactions. This blog card has an interaction as well. Blog card hover in, blog card hover out. If I go to the beauty page, we can see that the beauty card wrapper has the beauty card hover in and the beauty card hover out. I'm applying it to any card that has the class beauty card wrapper. So I only have to create the interaction once and apply it to this class. And the interactions are being applied to classes within the interaction trigger. So you only have to create the interaction once, and any elements that have the same class name structure will have the interaction applied. So as we can see, we can apply it to all these cards, and the interaction shows. Okay, so that is the interaction. They're all described here in detail, so you can just read what the interaction name is and you can get an idea of what it pertains to within the template. And most interactions are only applied to desktop and above, because on tablet you don't have that hover function. So on tablet it's just touch, so the interactions aren't necessary on touch devices. And that was possible by unchecking tablet, phone, and landscape, phone portrait for most of the interactions here. One of the main interactions is on the home page, and it's the newsletter. So if we go to the home page and we go to the page trigger, this interaction is not applied to a specific element, but rather to the page load. So when the page loads, if I click on it, the newsletter pops up. So initially the newsletter is not visible. It has a display none property, but if I click on flex, we can see the newsletter and we can change the styling here. But after we're done changing the styling, we want to set the display setting to display none, and then in the interaction, let's go to the page load. And for the interaction, the opacity is initially at 0%. Then we show the newsletter by setting the display setting to flex, and then the opacity goes to 100%. So then we can see it. And this all happens after a delay of 10 seconds, which is right here with the newsletter hide and show timed action. And then if we open up the pop-up newsletter wrapper, we have this newsletter close text that also has an interaction. And if I click on it, we see it has a mouse click interaction. So on first click and second click, we're closing the pop-up. So we set the pop-up to an opacity of 0%, duration of 3 seconds, easing of ease. And then for the hide show, we set the display setting to none so that it hides the newsletter and it doesn't appear again. So once the user clicks close, it doesn't appear again unless the user reloads the page. Yeah, so with that said, that's it for the pop-up newsletter and the interactions. The next thing I'll cover is how to remove the newsletter in case you didn't want it for the template. Okay, so I probably could have covered this in interactions, but I just wanted to give it its own section because no one wants a newsletter that's kind of unwarranted, or if they just don't like the idea of a newsletter pop-up, they can, you can just remove it from the site. And basically to do this, since it's already hidden, all you have to do is go into interactions and remove the page load interaction here by clicking the trash can symbol. And that's it. That's how you remove the newsletter. If you really knew you were never going to use the newsletter, you could also delete it from the home page and it would not show up. But that is how you remove the pop-up newsletter. If you did want it, just leave this page load animation here. And if you wanted to style it, just select it, set the display setting to flex, and you can style it and everything here. And then once you're done styling it, you can change the background and all that. Once you're done styling it, you can set the display setting back to none. All right, so that is removing the newsletter. The next thing I'm going to cover is the style guide. All right, so let's go to the style guide page, which is right here under template info. And the style guide just showcases all the colors used for the template. These are global swatches. So you could change any of the colors here and it would change across the template. Here for the headings, these are the different headings used in the template. If you did want to change the headings, you could just select the heading, go to all H1 headings or the global tag for the heading, and then change the font for the heading here. Same for all the other headings. You want to change the global tag, the HTML global tag, to change the headings across the entire template. This is the paragraph tag. You want to select all paragraphs and change the text here. Then we have the primary and secondary button. If you change it here, it will change for all the buttons using the primary and secondary classes in the template. And then rich text, this is what the rich text will look like. So essentially what your blog posts will look like with the specific heading styling and the paragraph styling. We also have the block quote here and the link text here as well. And this is how the unordered list will look and how the ordered lists will look. All right, so just to reiterate, if you are to make any changes to the headings in the rich text, you want to make them here under headings and typography. Just select the global tag and then change the heading. So this brings me to my next section, which is customization. So rather than just talking about it, let's go ahead and quickly run through customizing all the colors for the template and a few headings. All right, so we're in customization. So I'm gonna go ahead and change all the colors for the template. I'm gonna go to a website called coolers.co and we are going to pick a color palette. So let me click on explore and I'll go ahead and pick a color palette here. Let's use this color palette right here. And I'm just gonna try to match these colors with the nearest color within the template. So for example, this beige, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to use this lighter antique white color here. So I'll select it. Then I'll go to the color here. I'll select the color. Then here we have the global swatches. So you can see it matches these colors here. The global swatches are right here. Then I'll click this pencil icon to edit the swatch and I'll paste that color in there. And now we have this new color. I'll go back into here and then I'll select this yellow color and I'll replace it with this color here, this wheat color. So edit and just paste that hex code, click save, and then let's use this green color, and I'll replace this green color. I'll edit it, paste that color in there, click save. Then we have this red color, and I'll change it, this color here, this light coral. Make it that red, click save, and the last one is the pink. So the pink will be blue. So I'm not sure how this is gonna look, but we'll try it. And click save. Okay, so just like that, I've changed the color palette. Let's go ahead and change the headings. Let's change the all h1 global headings to a different heading. Let's use Palatino linotype. That might be a nice heading. Or actually, let's see. Let's use PT serif, and I'll do the same for the H2 heading. Change it to PT serif, and the H3, I'll change it to PT serif. For the paragraph, I'm going to leave the same, and that's it. So we can already see the button color already changed. But now if I go to the home page, we can see the font is different, the color of the tags is different, these arrows are blue, the green is different. Pretty much all the colors are different on the site. The blue is not really working because, you know, it was a lighter color for those different sections. But let's see here. So I'll preview, and all the pages are different colors. All right, looks good. So we can see we have all those different colors applied to the site. All right. Oh, so this pink does need to be bound to the global tags or global colors. But yeah, that's how we change the headings and the color for the template, so you can match the colors to your specific style for your site. Okay, so that is how we customize the template. Pretty straightforward. It's done from the style guide, and yeah, you can do it with a few clicks. You know, pick another color palette, change the global swatches here, change the headings, and you can even change the paragraph text. I can select all paragraphs, and I can change it to, you know, let's say Open Sans if I wanted to. It is kind of an overused font, but you know, you could add your own custom font in Webflow and then change it to that font in here. So I'm going to go ahead and change the font back to Inter. Okay, and that's basically it. So we can see the headings changed, and just as an example, if I go back in and change the paragraph, I'll just pick like another one here. Let's say System UI, for example, and now the paragraph has been changed here in the rich text to System UI. Okay, so just to reiterate, you do want to style the global classes for the headings and paragraphs and not apply new classes, otherwise it won't be changed across the template. So select the heading, go to the selector, select the HTML tag, all h1 headings, and so on and so forth for the different headings and the paragraph. For global swatches, select the color, go to the swatch, edit it. After you enter the new color, click save, and that color will be changed across the entire template. All right, so that is it for customization. The last and probably the most important part of the template will be support. So I'll cover that next in the next section. All right, so for support, I know I covered a lot in this tutorial. There is a lot to this template, but it also means that this template is really robust and can achieve and accomplish a lot of things that a content creator would be looking for as far as writing blog posts. So I know I covered a lot. So with that said, feel free to contact me at any time if you're having any issues with this template. If you purchased the template and need help, you can contact me via the email on the template page, or you can go to my personal website, webdevforyou.com, and go to contact and write me a message here. I will respond as soon as I can, which will be very quickly if it's regarding a template. And the other thing I want to mention is I provide a super chat or a live stream every Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. So if you're having an issue with a template and you need immediate assistance, or you want me to help you live or right away, just join my live stream any day, Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central, and I'll be helping you live. You get to see my face, and templates get high priority. So as soon as a message comes in about a template, I immediately address that first. Unless I'm really deep into a specific topic, then I'll get to it within a few minutes. But that's a quick way to get help with the template if you're having any trouble with it or you need help with how to use it. So yeah, feel free to contact me via the contact page, join my live stream on my YouTube channel, and you can also contact me via the email that's provided on the Webflow template page. So yeah, I definitely want to help with the template. I know there's a lot to it. I'll be leaving all these videos, categorized in the instructions part of the template, so you can quickly, just watch the video and it'll start right at the section that's intended. And with the new YouTube video feature, I'll be breaking up the video into sections, so you can just click in and watch the specific section that you need to understand how to use a specific part of the template. And I'll leave Webflow University articles that goes more in depth on how to use different functionality and features in Webflow, like the CMS, collection lists, and things like that, as well as alternative text and just anything related to Webflow in general. So super happy with this template, super happy with what I provided here. Hopefully it was helpful. I definitely want you to be able to use a template in a great way. So I think I've talked enough. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for purchasing the template. And again, any help, reach out via the website, my live stream as well, or the email on the Webflow template page. Thanks again, and have a great evening, a great day. And check out webdevforyou.com and many more templates to come. Thank you.